Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Here is my post-race analysis of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Personally, I did say, and I still stand on my statement that I was truly excited for this Saudi Arabia Grand Prix because, first of all, just when it comes to racing and Formula One, this is a very underrated track in my eyes. The streets are very narrow, and a lot of the turns are very crispy as well, meaning that a lot of the pilots have hard times hitting those corners. So it is very exciting to see. It does put a few of the pilots who have not much experience on that track at risk, but it's good risk, meaning that it's not fatal, but it does cause teams issue, and crashes are much more higher, and the percentage just goes a little higher with this track. So it is a very tricky track, and if you're a rookie, you're gonna have mistakes very easily. Even elite teams, like I'm not just talking about like rookie pilots, but also many teams, if you don't have much knowledge on that track, you are gonna struggle, and you're gonna have a hard reality check. And I think it is a street circuit, so it's a different ball game a bit. And street circuit for some pilots is different. Some have more success, some don't. But regardless, a street circuit is always underrated, and it's more natural. It's more grippy, and I would say it's more intense as well. And today, by chance, in today's race, there was no crashes. There was, I think, two do not finish, like they did not finish their race due to engine issues. So I think two lads had to pull out. I think it was Lance Stroll and Alex Albon who had to pull out of the race because of engine issues. So that was just that. So there was no crashes. So I think that all the pilots did pretty good. They had a good race there, and they avoided any crashes. So when it comes to the track performance, the teams adapted very well. Now, here, I know a lot of you came for Ferrari because this page is all about Ferrari, and that's what I cover all the time, and my true love, Ferrari. Ferrari-wise, it was not our day. Unfortunately, we had a tough weekend. Qualies, we were strong. Practice, it was mostly race pace and longevity. That's basically what our concern was. That's what Monsieur Vasseur decided to shift his momentum and his focus on, and I really respected him that, and I still now respect him for that, because at the end of the race, Charles Leclerc did finish his race, which is a very huge improvement, because in Bahrain, he did not finish the race, and he had an engine issue, I think alongside, I'm thinking here 30th lap. I think around this time, he had an engine failure, and then he had to retire the car. So I think that's a pretty huge improvement coming in from Ferrari, and I think it's a huge win for Monsieur Frédéric Vasseur. I see the big improvement, and I think that's the number one thing that I want to start off talking about Ferrari. Just the fact that Monsieur Vasseur did a fantastic job fixing the engine issue, and Charles Leclerc finished the race, and he put up an fantastic performance as well. I'm gonna get into it very soon, but yeah, just talking about Ferrari itself, just as a weekend, practice was mostly focused on engine. It was mostly focused on longevity, just finishing the race, all practice long, and then qualities were really strong from our two lads, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. And race day today was a tough one. We definitely dropped when it comes to results, and we struggled a lot when it comes to pace as well. There are a few mistakes and issues that we have to fix. On the bright side, our engine is fixed. Our team is fixed as well. Our pit stops fixed very nicely. our pit stops is one of the most underrated fixing that I've seen. I mean, last year our pit stops were one of the main concerns. They were our main problems, and it has been fixed. And we have one of the best pit stops teams. We are one of the best pit stops teams in Formula One. So that is a big, big improvement. We have, also a great team principal who he puts action right away, which is outstanding. But also, we have two very confident, very, very good pilots as well that we can trust. And Charles Leclerc has been nothing but phenomenal, elite pilot who puts on a lot of work. And today was just phenomenal driving. He went in for a 10 penalty. I think it was a 10 grid penalty. So he was starting from P12 and he moved up and he finished at P7. So the official results were Carlos Sainz finished at P6 and Charles Leclerc finished at P7. It is a very, very disappointing result. I mean, I always expect a top 5, even a top 3 even for Ferrari. So it was definitely a very, very disappointing result for us. And I'm a little frustrated. I am a little sad because at the end of the race, we had no pace, and Carlos Sainz did not have his best race either. He was a very mediocre. I would say, just as a race today was just a mediocre race. It wasn't the worst race we've ever had, but it was far from the best race we ever had as well. So it was just a race that we have to just get on with it. We're like, okay, this race is done. Now we have to focus on the next race. This is the type of vibe I would say to this race. It's just basically just a race. It's a normal race for us, but we do have to learn a lot from this race because our pace was missing and we could not compete with Red Bull. We couldn't defend against Max Verstappen, and we could not defend against Mercedes, as well. And Carlos Sainz had difficulty up front, attacking. Even Lance Stroll, when he started the race, at the beginning of the race, right away at the start, he had issues. He got beat by Lance Stroll, and then he had issues beating him the whole race. The whole race, he could not attack Lance Stroll until Lance Stroll's engine failed. But that was just a luck, that wasn't proper racing. That was just like unfortunate for Aston Martin that their engine collapsed. Except that I would confidently say, even though it hurts for me because I'm a big Sainz fan and Carlos Sainz, I always have both pilots back no matter what. Ferrari is my heart and my love. But Lance Stroll would have been in front of Carlos Sainz and he would have finished in front of both Ferraris. Truthfully, honestly, that is the truth. So Sainz did struggle racing. He just could not get in front of like the big pilots in front. Guys like Hamilton, George Russell, Lance Stroll. He didn't have an answer for them. Basically, but I think it was just more of a car issue. It was just more of a pace issue because even with our DRS, it just wasn't working, So unfortunately for Carlos Sainz's performance, it was a little rough for him, even though he did end up in front of his teammate Charles Leclerc. And Charles Leclerc, I did say is phenomenal because, I have to give it to him. He did went from P12 to all the way to P7, and he made some fantastic takeovers, DRS, just great action. But the ending of the race was the same situation as with Sainz. Both Charles Leclerc and Sainz had issues with the pace and they just did not have enough pace and enough speed to fight with Mercedes in front of them and Fernando Alonso and neither of the Red Bulls as well. So that was a disappointing part. That's what I would say for the Ferrari performance. On the bright side, the engine did. So I would say on the bright side, we fixed our finishing race with Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc last race, he couldn't finish the race, and now he did, which is a huge, massive improvement, even though some may disregard it. And, I would also say that our pit stops improved very, very well. Our strategies also worked really, really well. I would say I have a little doubts about the tires. I think personally that our strategies on the tires were good, between the mediums and the softs. But some people suggest otherwise and they have their own opinion. So I think like right now at the moment it's a 50-50. But I think tire-wise, we did a good job with the strategies, and I was happy with it. So I think that's an improvement in my eyes. But just in general, I think like the team is improving. We're not at the top right now. We don't have an answer for Aston Martin. We don't have an answer for Mercedes. We don't have an answer for Red Bull. But we're getting there, and we have good improvement. And I feel like in the next this year, in the next, I think I would say 2 years from this year and the next, following years, I would say in the next 3 years from now on, I think we will see nothing but improvement and we will compete for a championship. I strongly stand on it and I strongly believe it that we will come for a championship and we will be an elite team. We just need to improve a lot of the very, very costly, very, very hefty mistakes that we have, from Binotto to like all the way till all of our struggles from, for the last 10 years are to improve. So we have a lot to work on. So that is going to cause us a lot of time. We're going to take some time race by race, and I think it's just improving. So I think that's that. I keep hoping, I keep believing. I love Ferrari. It's my true love. Forzaa Ferrari, Forzaa Ferrari, Forzaa Ferrari. Also, two last things that are very, very not like Ferrari related. I was really surprised by Verstappen's and Red Bull's remarks with Checo's win. Sergio Perez, I have to say to Red Bull, they have a fantastic car. They have a rocket. I'm not going to lie. I have to give them their respect. They have a very, very beautiful car. They have a speed car. Nobody can compete with Red Bull, and I think like this year might be their year. But holy, they have a rocket there. But as a team, I'm really, really disappointed with them. They had no sense of love, and they have like just no happiness for Checo. I don't know why. It felt like, and even Verstappen was whining. He was being so selfish. Even like, I think he was crying because he couldn't fight with Checo, which was surprising to me. It's just so selfish. Come on, I have respect for Verstappen. He is a great pilot, but that was just really surprising. And there's just so many behaviors that he has done from last year and this year. That are very just really, really surprising to me. It's like, why are you acting like this? Like, come on, it's your teammate. And Checo has done a lot to help Verstappen, and Verstappen is acting like a child, and he wants everything, and just, I don't know why he's just being so selfish, at times. And, it's not my concern. My concern is Ferrari. That's all. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just really personally surprised, and I just had to, I'm just giving my remarks for those who are interested, but I'm just really surprised with Red Bull. And just Red Bull also as a team, they were not very happy with Checo as well. Like on their on the radio, they were like basically from their tone when they gave their little message at the win, when Checo Sergio Perez got the checkered flag in, they seemed like they were just pissed off that Verstappen wasn't the one that won the race. I feel like the team is just all they think about is Verstappen. It basically is Verstappen's team, and it's just sad. I feel bad for Sergio Perez, to be honest. I would like it. Just Sergio Perez has done a lot for Red Bull. That's just my personal thinking about that. And in conclusion, I would also like to mention about the fact that I just feel like it's just so weird because Fernando Alonso served his 5-second penalty, but with one of the rules, they actually broke a rule because one of the engineers was touching the car of Fernando Alonso when he was serving the 5-second penalty in the pit stops. When he was serving his penalty, one of the engineers touched the car during that 5 seconds, like in the middle of it. That is against the FIA rule. And it is strictly indicated. And also, if that's not enough, last race in Bahrain, Esteban Ocon also had the same penalty as Alonso, but everything was enforced. Like he served his 5 second, but then he also served his I think it was a 10 second penalty because of the fact that like one of the engineers touched the car too early. But he served it. Everything was good. Everything was normal. But then this whole like saga started with Fernando Alonso. Should he be awarded his podium or not? I think I love Fernando Alonso. I think he's a legend, but I think like the rules were just unfair, and I think like the FIA just made a big mistake there. And I think like this 10 second rule, this 10 second penalty that was not given to Fernando Alonso, that was not enforced at the end of the race, was just really unfair. And I think that George Russell, I think personally George Russell, sorry, I don't know why I said Russell. George Russell should have deserved the P3 podium, you know. But regardless, I mean, I'm really happy for Fernando Alonso. Regardless, I mean, I think he's just a legend, regardless, and I think like he's having a fantastic season. I'm really happy for Fernando Alonso, but I just think that it's weird coming from FIA, and my full criticism is going on the FIA because come on, like you literally enforced the rule on Esteban Ocon last race so well, but then all of a sudden you won't even like you just forgot about the 10 second penalty all of a sudden just because of the podium of Fernando Alonso. I think it's just a little weird. But regardless, well deserved to Fernando Alonso, and also big cheers to Sergio Perez on his big win. Just massive love. But regardless, I hope next race Ferrari improves. I will get you more news if Ferrari has more news. Regardless, Forza Ferrari, Forza Ferrari, Forza Ferrari. I hope all of you have a great night. Take care, everybody. Just have fun in life. Just do you. Be successful. That's all I have to say. Have a great night, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.